community manager, and fun every day. So, the Foundry was built over the course of a year of programming by several people who no longer work at the company. Those people passed on their knowledge as best they could, but that was, 6 years ago at this point, and things have just moved on. And unfortunately, as many of our loyal Foundry authors know, when we update the game, the Foundry has a tendency to just break. And when it breaks, there is a need to spend sometimes up to a week diving into the code to find a fix for it. That's wait, Twitch is okay. Twitch is fine. Okay, I saw chat saying it wasn't, but apparently it is. Okay. So, just to recap that quickly for people who are refreshing on Twitch to try and get it. The Foundry was built a long time ago and has a tendency to break at the drop of a hat and take up time, sometimes up to a week to fix. And as a company, it just isn't tenable to spend those resources anymore. Those are resources that are taking away from systems in both games that you all have been enjoying. New innovations, new technologies for our upcoming games, and ways to make our games, which are, both very, I guess, I don't know what the word is. They're games that have been around for a while, and in the MMO market that doesn't happen very often, and we're trying constantly to upgrade their systems, the tech underneath it. We have a bunch of hardworking engineers, and every time the Foundry broke, those engineers had to spend time fixing the issues. It's been a very long time that we've been having this discussion. It's probably been at least a year that it's been the question in the air of whether we would keep the Foundry or not. And during that time, as I mentioned on Twitter this morning, everyone has been fighting for trying to find a way to make this work. For those of you on the Neverwinter side, besides Julia, everyone on that team, Vincent, people from QA, Thomas, I know have all been in the trenches trying to figure out a way to make this work. On our side, I've seen Al, Captain Gecko, and Jeremy, and Andre, our executive producer, all working really hard to try and find a way to make this tenable. Unfortunately, the things that we've tried just haven't worked. I've seen a lot of solutions thrown at me today about things that we could do. Can we keep just the missions online? Yes, we could, but that doesn't fix the problem, because when the Foundry breaks, the missions break. And so then we still have to spend time fixing it. Could we create a separate server that never updates, that's just the Foundry missions? We could, but it's not... Then we'd have to spend extra resources on updating a server that's on a different build of the game, and that causes tons of headaches, and not to mention splitting the player base in a way, which is something that you always want to avoid in MMO games. It's hard. It's a hard day. It's a hard day. It's been a hard day. I've been personally not looking forward to this day for as long as I've known this was coming. Today has seen many people who I've considered some of the best parts of Star Trek Online's community talking about how the Foundry saved them from depression, or how they're all of their friends are going to go away now and they don't know what's going to happen next, or how they're leaving the game and just leaving the game forever because of this decision. And I know Neverwinter's been dealing with some of the same things. So really, I wanted to make sure we had this stream just so I could say, I'm there with you. And everyone at Cryptic is there with you. And I know that's hard to believe because I'm a face on a screen and they're just names that you know. Everyone loves the Foundry and everyone loves what you guys contributed to it. And if there was a way to keep it going, if there was a way to keep it alive, and we would have. We would have found a way if it existed, because we've tried everything. And we care. And we care really deeply about it, and we care really deeply about the amazing stories you guys have told. There's just not an easy, simple way to handle this. And unfortunately, this was the best decision for the business as a whole. Sometimes when you're working on something like this, you have to make decisions that frankly suck. And that's where we are. We had to make this decision for the health of Neverwinter, for the health of Star Trek Online, and for the health of Cryptic Studios. Which is, again, why we're here. Some people have been asking, are we just going to delete everything? Is everything you've ever worked on going to be gone? No. We've worked very hard to find a way that we can back up all of the missions. So everything you guys have created will still exist. It won't be accessible. And I don't know if that's ever going to change. I hope it does. I know Al and Vincent and Thomas all really hope it does. But that's up in the air right now, unfortunately. The missions will not be deleted. They are safe. They're not gone. But they won't be accessible for a while at least. And when I say a while, I mean a while in video game terms. So attach a soon.tm onto that if you want. So, all right. Folks, I'm here to answer questions. That's the other point of this stream. I'm here to answer questions. There will be some that I can't answer. Julia, the Neverwinter community manager, is in Twitch chat, and she is already answering some questions. If you have questions, I can answer them. If you just would like to express your frustration and your disappointment, I understand. And I'm here, and I want to listen to you. But it won't be a very entertaining stream, because it's going to be a lot of me reading chat and going, So, yeah. Facebook chat isn't updating automatically, so I will have to look at it. Sean Wurgis wants to know, are we hoping to make a Foundry 2.0? Not at this time. I think, like I mentioned very early on in the stream, the original Foundry took a group of programmers a year to build, and I just don't think the company is going to dedicate that resources in that time. Sorry about that. Someone asked if there was an engine overhaul coming. Because of this change. Not because of this change, and there's not an engine overhaul coming, but a lot of stuff the programmers are working on right now is quality of life fixes and things that just make our games better, that are a lot of under the hood changes. Things that make animations better, things that make day-to-day life of playing the game better. Some of those are being developed for our upcoming project, which we announced a while ago, the Magic the Gathering MMO. Some of them are being developed for Neverwinter, for Star Trek, for Champions. But all of those things, no matter where they're developed, because all of Cryptic works in the same ecosystem, they all make all the games better. We have a core team of programmers that's working on all that stuff. And that should not be pinned. Why is that pinned? Sorry. Lakshion says there's virtually no reason that you can't make those quests part of the actual game. That is actually incorrect. And I know because we tried. Those quests do not run on the same system as our in-game quests. There was actually a Herculean effort, again by Al and Thomas, to try and convert missions from Foundry missions, which break and go down when the Foundry breaks and goes down, to actual in-game missions. And it turned out it would take months of work for each individual mission because of the way the Foundry is set up and because of the way our editor tools are set up. That's still a hope for a lot of us, but if there's not a way to do it efficiently and to a quality that we expect, then we can't do it. And so that's just the way it is. Right now, if we just said we're just going to take this mission and dump it on live and let you guys play it, it's very likely that you won't be experiencing what these authors created in any way, shape, or form. Assets will be in the wrong place. Mission objectives won't be completable. It just generally won't work, which sucks. Again, it's terrible. Let's see. Commander Darjeeling, the people that work on the Foundry are different than the people who would be working on the missing Klingon War arc missions, the missions that we removed to remaster. I think those missions will get worked on by our content team. So Jesse, Paul, Ryan, and John. And they would be worked on. I think right now that team is pretty focused on some of the stuff we've got coming up for later content drops this year, but there might be some more time opening up later in the year. We're hoping to get some more of that stuff, some love, so we can bring it back. Let's see. Only here for drinks. Is this part of a wider plan to rid Cryptic Studios of legacy techs, like tech? Are we moving on to new games, new platforms, and new engines? Like I said earlier, their tech upgrades happen always. What was it? So, the stuff that's being worked on for our upcoming game, like I said, goes into the new tech, goes into some of our new stuff. Every game has different systems, and so that works differently sometimes. But there is an angle towards improvement going on at Cryptic Studios right now, and a big part of that is going into the old things that we have that may not work as well and trying to make them better. Let's see. Salaknar, thank you for the hug. I appreciate it. Ambassador Kel. Kel MG96. Just to explain briefly, a lot of the stuff you guys are already asking for. Are you saying, you're trying, will this free up time for this specific request of mine? Stuff is still going to move on kind of the same schedule for Star Trek and Neverwinter. What the core team who would be working on the Foundry stuff fixes is stuff that affects all the games, or major programming bugs or things of that nature. So it's like I don't actually know off the top of my head what their top priorities are now, and unfortunately, because a lot of them are for upcoming projects that will again make their way into Star Trek and Neverwinter and Champions. I wouldn't be able to tell you if I did know. If I were at the studio right now, I would probably just say, hold on one second, I'm going to, Teams Keith and ask him to come up here and explain what or Max or somebody. But I'm not. I'm 40 minutes away at my house because the internet's out. Because it's that kind of day. Let's see. Somebody asked about the new personal endeavors for Star Trek Online. I know a lot of people were using Foundry missions to complete those. We have seen that feedback today that a lot of people think those endeavors take too long to complete. Jeremy and I talked about it a little bit this morning, and I think the systems team is having a longer discussion, but I don't know what's going to come out of that. Let's see. STR Admiral Aaron says he's saddened by the loss the community has felt today. Me too. It's been a very funerary day, if funerary is a word. Like I said, many people whose contributions I very deeply value to our Star Trek Online community have posted very heartfelt messages of sadness today, and it's real emotional. Maria and I were talking about it earlier, and how much it's just not a good day. Is there anything coming to replace the Foundry as far as creative content or player-created content? No, not at this time. I personally hope we'll do something again someday, but I don't think soon. Let's see. TIE Fighter 77. Do we own the rights to our stories and characters? I'm not a lawyer. I would have to check the Foundry end-user license agreement, and I suggest you do the same to get the answer to that question. Gwendolmere, is there any chance of getting the mission editor like the devs use for making real missions, or is that too difficult? I think that would be too difficult. Yeah. Someone asked what my favorite Foundry missions are. That's a fun question I would love to answer. It is definitely In the Shadow of Midas, Part 1 and 2. I hope Part 3 happens. He was saying today on Twitter that he might try and get at least a video of what he had planned for Part 3. Then there's, oh god, I can't remember the name, and I'm at home, so I can't look it up. There's a mission, there's Hero of the Empire, which is great, but there was another mission that was that I spotlit that was about time travel and going to an alternate universe where the Terran Empire had won, and it was full of all these amazing time traveler puns, and I loved it so. And of course I can't remember it now, because I'm at home. Let's see. Yeah, Julia, I agree with that, but I just wanted to say look at the license, because... Q Cullen, you're welcome. Thank the whole team, not just me, and both teams. Everybody's fighting really hard for this. What will happen to our Foundry test characters? They are going to just disappear. You won't be able to access them anymore. I don't think that has any effect, but do let me know if it does. Let me know if there's something like items on those characters or something like that, because I'll have to let people know right away about that. I believe they're just characters that let you access the Foundry. But if I'm wrong about that, please let me know. Let's see. Obviously, legality aside, if you want to recreate your Foundry stories in a different medium, whether it's writing or fan films or something of that nature, as long as you follow the legal rules of those mediums, I don't think that anything would stop you. If Foundry characters use character slots, Agarwin Cran, then I imagine you'll just get those character slots back. I can't confirm that, but I'll check. Julia is saying, for Neverwinter, the quest contacts related to the Foundry and Neverwinter are being removed. The same is true of Star Trek Online. A lot of people today were asking about the Universal Endeavor to complete a Foundry mission. That's actually been fully removed since the last time it ran when the Foundry was broken. We decided that it just wasn't worth the headache of having it possibly come up when the Foundry was inaccessible. Let's see... Facebook users are asking a lot of the same questions. Guys, you might just have to go watch this video again. Lucas McLeod wants to know how many years does STO have left, do I think? I hope another decade, man. I mean, it's, this isn't a reflection on the life cycle of any of our games. Champions, Star Trek, Neverwinter. It is a reflection on the state of the company in that we're moving towards the future and we have to dedicate programmer resources towards new technologies instead of constantly fixing old ones. But STO is still going really strong. I've seen the numbers. We're doing really, really well. Neverwinter's doing the same. And Champions is as profitable as it's ever been. So, I think all three games are going strong. For anyone who's asking, yes, April 11th is the official last day of the Foundry. So you have until then to wrap up missions, get demos of the stuff you did, film things, take screenshots, anything you need to do to save memories. We want you to have that time. STO Admiral Aaron wants to know if there's any chance we could get a memorial in-game for the Foundry. I would love that. I don't know if that's something we'll want to spend resources on. Yeah, I don't know, honestly. We are making those rewards that a lot of people are going to get, and that's at least part of the way the Foundry will stay alive. And I hope you guys will enjoy those. Jordan Phoenix, what time is the update tomorrow? I believe it's 7 a.m. like normal. This is the console Star Trek Online update I think he's asking about. But... yeah, Drunken Heretic, STO and Champions are both not in any danger right now. Cthulhu, can we 3D print Foundry missions? Can you get a 3D printer big enough? Somebody said, Can we get a Thunder Cougar Falcon Bird non-combat pet? I wish I'd thought of that, but I think the Botany Bay is pretty sweet. Dijon Cyanide, I appreciate the sympathy, but one of the things that I want to comment on today, somebody on Twitter said this morning, because Kel put out a Foundry Spotlight on Friday, this news must be a shock for him too, and that's not actually true. I have known this was coming. And I wanted to make sure there was one final Foundry Spotlight out there because I knew we were giving rewards away to the people we spotlit. And that was something I could do. It was suggested to me by a Foundry author that I trust. So, played through the mission, enjoyed it, and spotlit it. Digital Kaiser, Cryptic is working with Twitch. Neverwinter has some cool rewards going for it right now. I don't know if anything's coming for Star Trek. I'd have to talk to our partnership person at PWE. Let's see. STO Admiral Aaron is going to publish his last Foundry mission, Resistance, before the Foundry goes offline. I can't wait to play it. Let's see. I'm trying to see if there's any other questions about the Foundry I can answer. I'm starting to get a lot of questions, so let me just say this. Of, when can I have X, which is what the stream normally devolves into. And I can't answer those, and that's not the point of today's stream. So if you're going to ask why, when you can get that mount in Neverwinter that you want, or that ship in Star Trek that you want, I don't have the answers today. I don't normally on the stream either, but I definitely won't have them today. So, yeah. Let's ask questions about the Foundry if we've got them. Let's see. Julia is asking about the water fountain for my cats. I'm imagining you could hear that in the background. Yes, I do. Let's see. Oh, hey, Malta's here. Hi, Malta. Will demo record work for our Foundry missions after April 11th? No, because your Foundry missions will not be accessible after April 11th. So if you need to demo record them, do it before April 11th. Darth Tannian wants to know how the Foundry has shaped STO since its inception. I think the best answer to that question is that the Foundry for Star Trek Online has helped build one of the greatest communities I've ever had a chance to be a part of. It's brought in a wonderful, wonderful, talented group of people. Excuse me. It's brought together a very, very good community. One of the best communities I've ever been a part of. And that's how it's shaped it. Sirius Fleet, no, we have no plans to remove demo record. Many, many people are continuing to ask whether we'll build a new Foundry. Please ask that. Please go back when this is on demand and review previous answers, because that's the answer for that. Nimrod, there was a roadmap put out for STO late last year. There will be another one later on, and we'll probably get one out again soon. Nebshake90 wants to know if the Foundry team will still have jobs with the company. Yes, absolutely. And everyone who worked on the Foundry when it was broken still works here. Let's see. Are the Foundry rewards account unlocked? I believe so, but I don't know for sure. I'll have to check. Hippie John 71. I don't know about Mark Valentine's mission. Can you PM me on Twitter? And I'll try and get more information on that. Only here for drinks. I answered that earlier. Basically, it's a Herculean task, and it's not going to be possible. I'm sorry to hear that. Sorry to say. We did try. We spent a couple of months trying. Al and Thomas on Star Trek and Neverwinter tried very hard. And it just didn't work out. Okay. Will built but unpublished Foundry missions count towards rewards? I don't believe so. So make sure you finish them and publish them. Let's see. We've already spent as much time as we possibly can making Tribble rewards or Foundry rewards. So people who are asking for new things, I very much doubt it unless the thing is already made. Duncan asked today if we could give people a Lieutenant Tardigrade pet if they worked on the Foundry mission, and I think that I suggested that as well. But the rewards for both teams made were the rewards we had the ability to. So. Dijon Cyanide, I am definitely thinking about that. It all depends on when the team needs to get the list of Foundry Spotlight authors from me. But if I have time to spotlight more missions, I'm going to. Yeah, if you're interested in working for Cryptic, the crypticstudios.com/careers, as Julia posted in the Twitch chat. Travis Broforce Richard wants to know about the anti-fraud measures we announced last week. I can briefly touch on that. In the past, if your account had been flagged for suspicious activity, if we suspected you were someone who was buying Star Trek items and selling them for real money somewhere or something like that, you would get a flag put on your account, and anything you bought when you had that flag would be account bound forever, so you couldn't sell it. We've adjusted it so that if there's suspicious activity on your account, you still get the flag, but items are only account bound for 7 days. So if it's an innocent person getting tagged with that system, they'll only have to wait about a week. RTK142, that's correct. Sorry, you've corrected me. Darth Vidus, yes. Let's see. Gary Lamore, yeah, you can still sell keys on the exchange. Absolutely. As long as your account hasn't been flagged. If your account is flagged, then you won't be able to sell those keys for 7 days. Lockshion, I believe Julia already addressed that in chat. Fleet Admiral Salaknar, can we make the Foundry source code open to the public? No, that's proprietary Cryptic Studios code. And we couldn't do it. Sorry about that. DJ Corny, again, we would love to put Foundry missions in the game. That's why we're saving all of them. But there's no ETA or timeline on whether or if that will ever happen. Only here for drinks, says Kel. I'm here for drinks. What are you drinking to drown your sorrows? I actually don't drink alcohol. So as much as I joked leading up to this day that I would accept gifts of whiskey and tequila from my coworkers, I am probably going to be drinking Diet Coke and maybe some water. I should drink more water. I need to hydrate. Fire Fist Fluffy wants to know how this will affect Neverwinter. You can visit our blog for more details, but the only thing that'll change about Neverwinter is that the Foundry will no longer be accessible. There will be no ability to create or play missions in either game. And you will, if you've played or created a certain level of Foundry missions, I believe it's 10, but Julia can correct me in chat. You'll get some rewards. It's a title and a cape. Lilin Lusankia, oh yeah, I think we can look at making more tougher endgame content. It's just a question of balancing it between, what people actually play. Thomas Brandon Lane, I don't believe it is now, but it will. Let's see. Lots of people offering to give me content. Vastier wants to know why we can't keep it as is. I explained it briefly earlier on, but basically because it will break. It will break as soon as we update the game again. We know it will because it keeps doing it, and it will take programmers too much time to fix it, and that's the long and short of it. Eagle Warrior, no. At this time, missions are not going to be accessible after the shutdown. They will be saved, and we're hoping to bring some or all of them back someday. But again, that's a real someday, folks. That's a someday my prince will come someday. So. Galactrix, if you ever had a Spotlight Foundry mission, I believe I have your information. Based on the way the thing works, I'm pretty sure I have it, because it tells me when a mission started being spotlit and when a mission ended being spotlit. So I think I have it. But when the rewards go out and you had a spotlit mission and you don't anymore, contact me and we'll try and figure something out, because I don't want anybody to get left out. It's been parked. The rewards for participants, we're hoping to get those out closer to the shutdown, but I don't know I don't have an exact date for you. Nebshake90, how's my day been? Like I said earlier, it's been rough. How did I feel hearing the news for the first time? The very first time I heard it, the news was told to me as this was something that was discussed, but we took a look at it and figured out a way so it wasn't happening. And then, like a year later, it was like, oh, no, it is happening. And at that point, the very first time I heard it, I hatched a madcap plan to prove that we didn't have to do this with data. And I actually spent a couple of months gathering data with our data team to try and make a point. And brought it to our CEO, who was very, very nice to me when he sat me down and showed me that not only had he already gathered that same data, but here's 3 other sheets more than sheets, thousands and thousands of spreadsheets of other data that explains why this is a problem. Yeah. The Botany Bay, I believe, will only be going to people who published a mission. Yeah, we were laugh-crying about that, Tuscan 38, when the Foundry reward, the Botany Bay, accidentally got leaked in the Foundry, of all places. Zen000, I answered this already, but no, missions that you can't demo record a Foundry mission after the shutoff date because they won't be accessible. You won't be able to get to them. So demo record it now, please. Yeah, Dijon Cyanide, this is definitely a problem that's only going to get bigger. Vasier, a Foundry Challenge top 3. I'm going to have to get more information about that. Hopefully one of the fine folks in the Foundry Roundtable can reach out to me. I don't know if you're asking about one of their Foundry challenges or if it's a challenge, if it's something else. Only here for drinks. I've seen your comment about your birthday 3 times, bro. I get it. You don't have to keep pasting it. Darth Tanian, I hope to spend some time playing Foundry streams in the future. I was going to spend some time today playing one of my favorite Foundry missions as a sort of, tribute, but the internet's out and I had to drive home. Will a demo record we make now still play back after 4.11? Yes, absolutely, of course. Yes, definitely. Will there be a regular stream this week? Yes, I believe so. I believe we're going to have Joanna, who is our new UI artist, on. Huston 1, no, I only do the spotlighting for STO. Let's see. Everyone's seeing you, Silk. You want to say hi? No, you want to just lick your butt? Yeah, I'm looking at you. Alright, anyway. Does the cat have any solutions for the Foundry? The cat wishes you would feed me more. Feed him more. All of you. All of you are starving this cat. Trust me. I hear him at 5 a.m. every morning. Dijon Cyanide says, let's all just play Foundry missions for Catharsis until April 11th. Absolutely. Terramac, then I'm not sure. I will find out if your demo records cannot play after a certain time if the Foundry's gone. I don't know. I'll have to ask around about that. Maria might know. I don't think she's watching the stream, though. Mod Deeps, any reason for the short lead time on this? Actually, this is the longest lead time we could give you. Our CEO was very, very adamant that we weren't going to just let the Foundry break and not fix it. He wanted to make sure that everyone had time to, finish off their missions, look at things. I hope you all understand the reason that we set the cutoff for the rewards to today is because I think what the Foundry authors have built is very special. And I didn't want the rewards that were going to them to go to somebody who saw the blog today and said, oh, I want that reward, and made a Foundry mission in 5 minutes that didn't have anything in it. That just didn't seem right to me. So that's why the cutoff date was today. Let's see. Facebook comments aren't updating automatically. I'm sorry. All right, Sean Frolic. Oliver Mitchell, I will tell you that Star Trek Online will last forever. I'll take that. Let's see what I'm getting yelled at for ignoring, though. Let's see. Huston 1, I don't know. That's a Neverwinter question. Julia might be able to answer it. Pedwart Tree 43, more exploration content and persistent exploration content is something that we always want to do. What I don't know is whether it'll happen anytime soon. Someone said behind me. Was there a cat or something? Gabriel Knight 52, if you didn't get your prize, either something went wrong or it's one of the two that I haven't shipped yet. Because they've been sitting under my desk and I'm terrible. Jordan Phoenix 22, yes. Stop asking. I love you, bro, but my God. Benjamin David Holloway, personal endeavors are coming for Xbox and PlayStation 4, but not with the launch of the anniversary. They'll be in a later update. Okay. Well, folks, I'm seeing a lot of repeat questions, and I don't want to spend the next hour repeating myself like I just did. I didn't really. I don't know why I said that. Sorry. And I don't want to answer any now non-Foundry questions today. There are regular streams for Neverwinter and Star Trek Online. Hippie John 71 says, please make sure the devs who supported the Foundry on their free time, been so interactive with the Foundry community, know of our love and support. I will make sure of that. Yes, Garwen, I'm sorry, the chat is going by too fast. I lost your name, but yes, I do have a list of the non-English spotlit authors as well. And if I didn't, I would make sure that the German team sent it to me. All right. Oh, somebody probably dropping off my mail or something. All right. Well, folks, thank you all for joining me. I hope I answered as many questions as I could. And to everyone who's been a part of the Foundry, thank you. Thank you for everything you've created. Thank you for the wonderful stories you've taken us on. We're going to miss it. We're going to miss it terribly. Everyone on all the teams is going to miss it. It's important and incredible work you've done, and I hope you all know what great storytellers you are. Jesus. And I hope you go keep telling those stories in the future. All right.